Hello everybody, Robert Carr from Intuitive Healing. Haven't done a video for a while now, 7 months I think, what we're locked down and what have you. So it's time to get back on the horse and do a few more. And today's subject is tarot and divination. I've got a little script today, so if you see my eyes wandering, it's because I'm reading. And divination is described in the dictionary as the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. And supernatural, the definition in the dictionary is supernatural is something that is attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. Science moves on daily, as we know. Things are always being discovered, so maybe in years to come, the things that psychics, healers, mediums can do can maybe be explained in a scientific way. We shall see. I mean, many years ago, there's a guy called Copernicus who decided that the Earth wasn't the centre of our solar system, it was the sun. But unfortunately he died the same year his theory was printed, and then Galileo came along about 100 years later and expanded on his theory, and the Catholic Church wasn't very happy, so he was placed under house arrest until he died, and as it was, he was right. So science moves on, and we've just got to hope that when it gets there, it helps explain what we can do. There are many forms of divination. In the olden days, people used to have bones, chicken bones, and they'd throw them in, depending on what pattern they landed, that would dictate a certain story. Rune stones. The Vikings were very much into their rune stones. Same principle. Throw them on the ground, pick them out of a bag, tells a story. Tea leaves. Tea leaves, you read the tea leaves. Crystal balls, astrology. So even in biblical times, the three wise men were deemed to be astrologers and soothsayers from the east. So psychics, healers, soothsayers, they're mentioned in a lot of scriptures. So we've been around a long time. Palm readings. People read your palm. Water divining, that is divination, finding a water supply in an arid place. Entrails, Romans and the Greeks used to love that. Sacrifice a goat, cut open its entrails, and depending what the state of the entrails, somebody with a skill set could read those stories. And my chosen field, which I have chosen to do, is tarot cards. And you're probably thinking, what has a healer got to do with tarot? As healers, we have a very, very strong connection to the universe, and we can channel energy, but we can also channel information, energy in a different form, as it were. So divination is a passing on of information from the universe to a person that needs help or is looking for assistance or guidance. So all these different forms of divination are very much the same thing. It is a deciphering of universal information using whatever means to set you on your way. So when you go to see a palm reader, the person will hold your hand, and they're not necessarily reading the palm. Obviously, there are clues there, but they're holding your hand, so they're getting into your vibrational energy. So they're reading your energy. Same with tea leaves. You've held that cup. You've drank out of that cup. You've put your energy on that cup. So when they turn it upside down and read the leaves, they're reading your energy. So it's kind of, it's whatever sets you off on the information exchange. Difficult to explain. So the thing that sets me off is tarot. like I said, I've got a strong connection to the universe, so I can transmit energy in the form of healing, but I can transmit energy in the form of communication. And it's very much the same thing. Very much the same thing. Excuse me, page 2. Page 2 up next. So, I'll go through it. The deck. What is a tarot deck? Well, first and foremost, you can't buy your own deck. It has to be a gift. Little did I know, 25 or so a year ago, I went in a shop called Earthworks in Sunderland, and I was told by a lady to get the Hanson Roberts pack. Now, the Hanson Roberts is named after the artists that done it, Mr. Hanson and Mr. Roberts. So I went in and I says, I'd like that pack of tarot cards, please. And he went, are you buying them for yourself? And I went, yes. He says, well, you can't, you know. He says, so I'm going to give them to you. I thought, oh, that's very kind of you, thank you very much. But he says, I'm going to charge you £18.99 for the brown paper bag that I'm going to put them in. So he kind of got round that. But generally speaking, you need to be gifted tarot cards to give them that, I don't know, spiritual essence, or for want of a better phraseology. There are some lovely tarot packs that you can have, which are bright and colourful and nice. I have 2 tarot packs. I have my originals, which are 25 years old, and as you can see, they're very dirty and doggy. That probably, if you lick that, that's probably the same as penicillin. They are lovely. They are beautifully drawn, beautifully illustrated. They all have positive imagery on. You can get some which are really dark and sinister. And I have another pack which my niece recently gave me, which are still very nice and colourful and beautiful. So I have 2 packs. The whole premise of a tarot pack is the Fool's Journey Through Life. So the first card, or the first numbered card of the pack, is the Fool. That's the Fool in me Hanson Roberts. And that's the Fool in me new pack. And it takes 78 cards for the Fool to travel through his life's journey to death. A normal pack of playing cards has 52, and a pack of tarot. A pack of tarot is like a pack and a half, so there's 78. There are 4 suits in the tarot. We have cups. Cups which generally relate to emotions, love. We have pentacles, which generally relate to money or finances. We have wands or rods, depends which ones you get, which generally relate to work and your life, how you deal with your life. And then we have swords, and swords are inspiration. Oh, I'm getting a bit shine on that. Are inspiration, so it goes to that, he's so sharp he'll cut himself. So that's swords. And cups, obviously, is like when you're happy, your cup runneth over. So that's emotions. There are also a set of cards which are one-offs. So if you've got your aces, you've got ace, 2 of cups, 3 of cups, 4 of cups, 5 of cups, 6 of cups, up onto the king, and then the ace again. So the ace can be high or the ace can be low. The cards mean different things when they're upside down. So if it's the ace the right way up, your cup runneth over, it's lovely. The ace of cups, you're having a lovely time. If it's upside down, you are having the worst time. So there's a kind of a numerical value depending whether the card's the right way up or upside down, to plus 15 or minus 15. Then you have major arcana, which are cards that are one-offs. The Hanged Man, the Hierophant, Strength, that's a one-off. So 2 different types of strength. Then we have the Devil, always interesting. 2 different types of the Devil, and so on and so forth. Tarot cards are strange things. A lot of people come to see me and they want the cards read. And I'm saying, I'm sorry I can't read your cards because you're out of balance. And say, what does that mean? I was like, well, you're born, you die, you live your life like that, and you have a set of circumstances. And a good practitioner of any divination technique can read part of that line, which is relevant at that particular time in a person's life. But if you are out of balance, you are off-piste, you are away. So a lot of people come because they feel out of sorts and they need inspiration or they need guidance or they need pushing in the right direction. And tarot can do that for them. And sometimes it's obvious you can't read that person's tarot because they're out of balance. So you offer them healing. Different energy, different thing. Comes from the universe, same principle. So after they've had their healing and you ask them, do you want your tarot cards done now? They say, no, I don't feel the need because they're in a good place and they feel more in control. So sometimes people come for tarot and they end up getting healing. Sometimes people get healing and then they have tarot after that because they feel they're in a good place and they want hope for the future or help. Tarot can give people guidance. So if they're in a situation where perhaps they've got a choice of two partners, the universe will offer them, it won't tell them what to do, it will offer them information which will help them in their choice. So recently I had a lady and she had a choice of two men, and the cards dictated that the man in our past, who she really, really liked and got on really, really well with, would never ever change. Never, never, ever in the month of sun. So she goes back to him, she knows what she's getting. But the man in her life in the present is malleable, fixable, mouldable. So if she stays with him, she can maybe produce what she wants by whatever means. So it kind of gave that lady guidance as to which one to choose. Sometimes it can give you hope if your life's desperate and you think, better things to come, there is life at the end of the tunnel. It can give you warnings about, don't do this at work, be careful if you're doing that with that person, with that situation. And people will kind of move around them, as it were. It can give them help in decisions. So with jobs, the Devil card is a fantastic job card for helping you. So if you think you want to change your job and you get the Devil the right way up, it's better the Devil you know, so stay where you are. But if it's upside down, it's better the Devil you don't, so it's best that you change your job. So cards mean different things when they're the right way up, when they're upside down, and the cards above and below, and the cards in front and behind. So mathematically, there's loads and loads of connotations that you can get from a tarot reading. When I first started doing it, I used to do 21 cards, 3 piles of 7, straight off. Now, I'll shuffle the cards, do 3 piles, make somebody choose a pile, do the first 7 cards, reshuffle them again, and do that 3 times. So there's different ways you can use them, and different ways you can decipher them. The cards that were kind of used now have been around since the 1750s. And how I read them, this is from my perspective, my personal perspective. I taught myself. I basically got my first pack of Hanson Roberts, took the manual out, how to read cards, and threw it away. And I thought, it was a bit like me healing. I was self-taught as a healer. So I thought, if it's my destiny to be able to read tarot cards, I'll just read them. So I practiced. 25 years later, I know what I'm doing. And this is how I read them. When I do a reading, I like to get the thing called the square of tarot. I'll get this nice placemat, just as an example. So, I'm here. There's a person there who wants a reading. So, I can communicate with my spirit guide, because I've been doing it years. Their person will have a spirit guide as well. When my spirit guide is in attendance, I get a feeling of tingling down my back, which I'm getting now. And the person I'm reading for will get a strange sensation. Sometimes they get a cold spot on the top of the head, sometimes they get tingly feet, sometimes the hands tingle, and it's a sign that their spirit guide is in attendance. So that person wants a reading, their spirit guide is in attendance, that spirit guide can communicate with my spirit guide, who communicates with me through the cards, and I pass that message on to that person. Any one of those corners that are missing, you can't do it. You can't do it. And I'm blatantly honest. If somebody comes to me and I don't get that square, I just say I can't do your cards. And there's reasons why. Sometimes they're out of balance, they need healing, etc. So that's how I start. Each card has a meaning. I'll do a few major corners for you. The world. So that is good luck. The world. The world is your oyster. So you've got the eyes of an eagle, angelic influences, the strength of a bull, the cunning of a lion, all mixed together in a bucket, all coming in your favour. Unfortunately, if it's upside down, it means the exact opposite. It means the exact opposite. You have death, which can obviously mean death of someone or something, but it also means the end of a phase, the end of a chapter in your life and the beginning of a new one. If death is upside down, it means nothing's going to change. So if you were looking for change in your life or inspiration, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So there's lots of cards, and it's kind of, they get presented to you and you have to kind of decipher them, a bit like a detective, and you glean information from each card. Now, my life experiences are different from everybody else's. So you can get people who say this, you can get a book on how to read tarot, but that's that person's view. That's that person's, if you just do it, as the book says, it's like painting by numbers. But if you throw the book away and just do it from your own vibes and your own energies, then it becomes more truer. When I go and see my niece Kerry, who gave me these lovely big ones, when I see her do a reading, I can't look at the cards, because what she gets from each different picture is completely different from what I would get, because her life experience is different from mine. So you can buy books that say this is how to read tarot, but it's how to read tarot by numbers, as opposed to how to read tarot by your inner divination skills, your inner connection to the universe. So I chose not to read a book. So this is how it works. You get the square of tarot, you flick the cards. It's whether it's the right way up or is it upside down. Is it about money? Is it about work? Is it about love and romance? Is it about you? Is it about... There's a card called the Magician, which is a fascinating card, and it's somebody you go to for help. So that can be a doctor, it can be a psychologist, it can be a chiropractor, it can be a banker. So depending on the card that's in front, behind, above, below, that has a different story. That has a different story. Excuse me. They're not to be taken lightly. In the hands of a skilled practitioner, they can help enormously. They can guide you down the right path. They can help you make decisions. Divination has been around for many, many years. Prophets are mentioned in the Bible. Astrologers are mentioned in the Bible. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. Different names, different tools. You shouldn't be scared of them either. You shouldn't be scared of them either. I suppose if you got somebody from the Middle Ages and took them to a doctor and they went, right, I'm going to take an X-ray and an ECG, whoa, They'd be frightened, they'd be scared, they'd be put off. But you don't have to be. It's your choice. Nobody forces you to go. It's like when people come for healing, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was when I became a healer was wait to be asked. Because that person is ready to be healed or ready to become better. And I don't force myself on people. If somebody wants their cards done, I wait to be asked, because they're ready to hear, they're ready to listen, they're ready for that guidance and that inspiration from wherever it comes. There are, of course, charlatans and cheats and tingers. And that's an interesting story. When me and my wife were in Edinburgh about 10 years ago, I'd had a sign saying tarot readings. And I thought, I'll have a bit of that. And she went, no, really? I went, yes, really. So I went in, I went, I'd like a tarot reading, please. And the lady behind the counter went, oh, would you like the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes? Oh, let's go over the 30 minutes, says I. Fantastic. That'll be £30, please, in advance. In advance? Really? Now, the way I do it is, if it is, I'm happy with the reading, I'll charge. If I'm not happy with the reading, I don't. So to take payment in advance, it's like if somebody comes to me for healing and I can't help them, I don't charge them. But to take payment in advance, that red flags went up straight away. Really? In advance? Lovely. So I went in to see this guy, and he had a red Indian pack, and he was just sitting there, and he wasn't really a tarot reader. He was more of an observationalist, and he kind of read the person sat in front of him. So I sat down, and he kind of looked at me, and the majority of people who have never met me before think I'm a policeman, or have always ever thought I was a policeman. So I was a firefighter. So I sat down, so I'm sitting there with my short hair, and so it's like, oh yes, I can see your uniform. Really? And I was sitting there, physically fit, 16.5 stone, built like a barn door, not now because I don't train as much. And he was saying, oh, I can see, you look after yourself, and, you eat well and you train well. I'm going, yeah, that's obvious. I'd been laying some, I think, laminate flooring, so I had scrapes all over my hands. Oh, you're not scared of a bit of hard work? Yeah. My stature, he was reading my stature, so I was sitting there, I was quite healthy, so he was reading me posture. So if I was sitting there like that, he'd be like, oh, life's getting you down. But I was sitting there like that, oh, yeah, life's good for you at the moment. Yeah. Reading me shoes. Oh, you like value for money, don't you? For things, oh yes, you don't like to throw things away. Yeah, because my shoes are minging, mate, and that, you've sussed that out straight away. So they can read your shopping bags. If you go in with a shopping bag and it's got a name on the outside, it can make an assumption from that. Eyebrows. You can read people's eyebrows. So if somebody says something and it's wrong, you go, eh? And I go, oh, sorry, no, I'm getting this. Or if somebody says something nice and they hit the spot, they go, oh, cool. So you can read body language. So you can have somebody who knows nothing about tarot or nothing about divination or psychic skills, and they'll just read you as a person. And then they make a couple of mad stabs in the dark. They might get one right, they might get one wrong. And people come out, oh, he was brilliant. Oh, he was really good. Oh, yeah. So the best way, from my perspective, of doing a tarot reading is over the phone. And then it's just an exchange of energies. You can't see the person. You can't read the person. All you've got is a voice. And you do the cards and you speak into a phone. That is the best way of doing it. That is, you can't cheat. You can't be a charlatan and do a phone tarot and get it spot on. Because when I'm doing a phone tarot, I just say to people, don't speak. I'm talking, you listen. So it's just another form of divination, tarot. And sometimes it can go a bit squiff as well. Another story. 2 ladies came to see me, and I always get people to tape their reading on their phone, on their memo. So you start the reading and say, oh, this will not start taking place until 3 months hence. So in 3 months' time, I want you to start listening to this. so they've got a reference to work from. And I'd done a lady's tarot, and I went blah, 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 all the way through. I went, is that relevant? She went, nah. I went, all right, sorry, I'll not charge you for that one. And then the other lady came in, gave her blah, 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 blah. Is that relevant? No, total rubbish. Right, I'll not charge you. So I sent these two ladies away, feeling a little bit dischuffed. And they went home, and it turns out they were sisters. And they went home and they listened to each other's readings, and then came back, knocked on my door and gave us the money, and they went, you were spot on. But somewhere in that universal connection, we've got them crossed over. We've got them mixed up. It can happen. Nobody's perfect. I think that's about it, really. Nothing to be scared of. It's a form of divination. It's a connection to the universe. It's an exchange of information, and we use cards to do it. You know, you can do it with entrails, bones, runes, crystal balls, palm reading, divination. Nothing to be scared of. It is been around for hundreds of years. But the cards themselves have been around since about the 1750s. I think that's about it, really. I had another story at the bottom of my mind, but it's gone. For another time, for another video. Yep. If you like it, oh, yes, I'm starting to do them on YouTube now. So if you want to subscribe, please do so. Thanks for watching. I've got an idea for at least another 3 or 4. And they'll come a little bit quicker, and it'll not be 7 months between them. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.